I watched James Gunn's Superman Friday night. Well, by the time this comes out, it'll probably be 2 weeks ago. And I have to say, it's probably one of my favorite superhero movies ever. Am I glazing it? No, I'm not. And I'm gonna go into that later. I feel like that's not really a hot take, and everybody and their mother is gassing up this movie right now. So I don't wanna keep on beating on this horse. But how can you not? I mean, come on. Also, I've kind of built a small community talking about stuff like this, so I feel like I should probably say a few things. Superman was very good, obviously, but it's not the only good DC movie to come out in recent years. There was one more. I was joking. There were a few. Maybe. And that's, of course, Matt Reeves' The Batman. The Batman was a film that at first was kind of split opinion-wise, but not too long after release, people realized how good of a movie it really is. It's more or less of a slow burn, especially with its runtime of 2 hours and 56 minutes. It's almost a perfect contrast to the Superman movie, and I love that. It's poetic too in regards to their characters, if you think about it. We're supposed to get a new Batman movie further down the line that will take place in the DCU, since technically this movie is elsewhere, but I kinda hope they decide to keep Pattinson, because I f with this Batman and I would love to see him working with characters like Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, etc. Oh, and that reminds me of the Lanterns TV show that is supposed to be coming out, which I have been saying that they need to do that instead of a movie for years now. And I better not see any bandwagoners hopping on the Green Lantern hype train after this comes out, because trust me, I remember everyone and their mamas laughing at me whenever I used to say that Green Lantern is my favorite superhero. Literally right here in this drawer. Boom. That's the blue Lantern ring. Even though I don't really like Hal Jordan that much, Kyle Rayner fan. Anyways, the DCU is looking hopeful, and I'm excited for this breath of fresh air. Now let's talk about these movies with badass soundtracks, including The Batman came out in March of 2022, and I remember the cold, eerie night I watched it. I was with my brother and our friend, and we went to our local cheapo theater in a college town. They gave out tickets for a big discount for college students in the area, so we watched it there, and let me tell you, walking out of that theater at nighttime with snow and the dim streetlights, trees blowing, it's cold as f. Cop sirens are in the distance. It's a vibe. You walk out of that theater wanting to climb the nearest skyscraper, crouch down, and just watch the city. And that is exactly how you should feel after watching this rich crime detective dressed up in a bat costume. The main pro of this movie is that it's really our first look at a Batman who is the world's greatest detective. Not a campy old asshole that makes a smirk after making a campy quip. Also, he doesn't use guns, and he doesn't kill. Finally, the movie is long and you definitely feel it, but I don't mind it all that much. It gives off the it's gonna be a long night vibe that the Arkham games give, and I just think that that's a cool feeling. Not to mention the character growth we see with him accepting his hero status and what he has to do for the city. Do they say this? No, but he's saving Gotham citizens and he's being thanked, which comes as a surprise to Bruce because he doesn't see himself as the golden hero. Matt Reeves allows the audience to infer what's being said in a lot of the scenes, and I love that. Like when Gordon says that this kid's parents died and he's the only survivor, to which Bruce just blankly stares at him, recognizing the pain and trauma he's going through.
Kid found him.
I love that.
This is what needs to be told in a Batman movie. I also love that nowadays we've kind of collectively decided that we're just done with origin stories. Not to interrupt with talking about Superman already, but it starts off with a snowy background and just simply text over the screen, jogging us up to date. Perfect. It's all we need. We know these heroes and what they've been through, and if we don't, then you don't really need to show us off the rip. You'll figure it out. And if you don't, you can still watch this and take stuff from it. Trust me, you won't be lost. Spider-Man Homecoming did the same thing and it was awesome. Cut the jibber jabber, we don't need it. Batman starts out 2 years after he has Don the Cowl. On Halloween night, Mayor Don Mitchell Jr. is watching the news until we, as the audience, see a man in the background in the room watching. Creepy, gross, awesome. We find out that this is the Riddler, who is simply just a Reddit moderator turned Twitch streamer turned supervillain. Throughout the movie, Bruce and Commissioner Gordon solve clues and riddles left behind the Riddler's wake to hopefully take this guy behind bars and get the chaos out of the street, one criminal at a time. The city of Gotham, like usual, sucks, but they really do a good job at showing it. It's grimy, dark, wet, and full of rodents. The gangs are running the streets and it's a dangerous area to be in. Clue after clue, more lives of public officials are being taken, making Bruce and Gordon realize even more how aggressive this case is. I love the riddles in this movie. I mean, I was in the theater, fogging up my glasses, wiping them off, crossing my legs, sitting upright, trying to figure this shit out, and whenever the movie reveals itself to us, it's so cool and creative.
Thumb drive.
Further on into the movie, we get introduced to Catwoman. Meow. Which I think is a cool interpretation of Selina Kyle, if I do say so myself. It's kind of more or less leaning into the thief side of things and whatnot rather than the Catwoman side of things. She's just a cool touch to the story. Bruce eventually sends her into the Iceberg Lounge, the Penguins Club, Club Penguin, to learn information straight from the source about the crimes. And to do this, he sets her up with contacts that have cameras in them. This is very badass since it's kind of like the detective vision in the Arkham games, and it just makes complete sense that they would be contacts. These are the type of gadgets in this movie that make him seem techie but yet still grounded, to where it just makes sense that a billionaire would create something like this. After this, the plot is driven more and more of just learning new stuff and just getting more clues, which is just perfect for a Batman movie. But we get our next big action scene when we have a car chase with the Penguin. I don't have much to say about the scene that hasn't already been said, but man, what a chase sequence. You feel like you're in the cars with them. The driving is intense. The visuals are great. I mean, it's just awesome. Who can complain? Who can relate? Corny. But the main takeaway I want to mention about this is the Batmobile. This is my Batmobile. I love the whole style of Bruce in this movie. From the suit to the gear to the vibe of the whole movie, but the Batmobile is the greatest thing. Just because it's the first time we get a Batmobile that isn't over the top or cheesy. Now granted, I love the 89 Batmobile just as much as the next guy. But when we are put in an alleyway and you just hear the engine running, sounding like a jet, and then you just see the headlights pop on. I mean, come on, dog. It's an old muscle car that is souped up to take damage. Nothing too crazy, nothing too flashy. It just feels right because this is a car that a billionaire with a motive and a mission on his mind would build. This is a very low-key car and I love it. Well, until he starts that thing up, but come on now. With that being said, let's knock out two birds with one stone. Bruce Wayne. He's emo. We've never really got this before. In other words, Bruce is kind of popping our cherry. What are my thoughts? Well, I can see the hate. I really can. But let's think about it. Batman, he's a dark character. There really shouldn't be that much lightheartedness or charm with him. But that's the point, right? He puts on this act of a billionaire philanthropist to throw at people to knock him off of his trail.
He can't be the Batman. I just saw him take a body shot.
I think that could get boring. Granted, this is only year 2 of Bruce being the Bat, so he has room to lean more into that. And I think that they will once he gets a little bit more comfortable. But for now, this dark, grimy, sad Bruce is the way to go. He looks stressed. He looks tired. He wears sunglasses during the day because he comes out at night. That's just who I see Batman as. Someone who is burdened with taking action on this terrible city that is Gotham. The corruption is getting to Bruce, and that is taking effect on him. And you can see it through his dick. He just seems tired, chat. And I love that. Bars. It kind of gives off the vibe of like, oh, we got to get through the day so then we can pop out at night. AKA a typical weekend in my part of town. Now, I kind of laid the premise of this movie down and I don't want to do a complete breakdown because, well, that would take forever. But if you haven't seen it, what are you doing? Go watch it. It's a perfect whodunit, Batman, world's greatest detective movie. It has grit, it has style, it's badass. Call me what you want, but I personally like it better than The Dark Knight. I know, but I said what I said. The Dark Knight is a great movie, don't get it twisted, but I just see this more as my Batman movie. Superman does something off the rip that I think is perfect for its style and the story in general. And that is starting with text on the screen, catching us up to present time. I think stylistically, this looks very retro-ish, and I just think that it's a great way to start the movie in regards to, we don't need to see an origin story. And for the people that don't know about Superman, they kind of lay it out for you in dialogue in the movie. Just little tidbits. I feel like it was very well done. We learned that Superman has lost his first fight with the metahuman Hammer of Boravia. Barovia, after Soup stopped an invasion on a neighboring country. We are now at the Fortress of Solitude that erupts out of the ground, and it looks awesome. And he gets healed. During this, we are listening to Superman's comfort videos, which are of his parents sending him to Earth, mainly as a guide and reminder of why he is who he is. We also have Krypto here, who is the comic relief of the movie, and I love him, who doesn't? After Soups goes back to Metropolis to return to the fight, Lex Luthor sends the engineer to follow his tracks and break into the fortress. But she cannot. Superman once again gets his ass beat by the Hammer of Boravia, which turns out to be Ultraman all along. We are then introduced to Lois Lane and Clark's relationship while Clark cooks dinner. And eventually he allows Lois to interview him as Superman, leading to an argument about the ethics of Superman, which is an awesome scene. I like this. I feel like David did a fantastic job in this scene, along with Rebecca. They just do a good job. I like the
dynamic.
I just think it's a good scene. I like seeing Superman be so passionate about like, hey, I'm doing this for me. I'm not doing this on behalf of America. I'm not doing this for the set back in space. I'm doing this for me. Kal-El, no. During this, Lex has a monster that he releases into Metropolis that eventually gets humongous. As this distraction is tearing down the city, obviously Superman goes to stop it. While Lex and his goons enter the fortress, destroying the assisting bots, capturing Krypto, and stealing the files that Superman's parents left him with when they sent him to Earth. We have only heard half of the tape since the other half was damaged upon arrival, but Lex is dying to reveal it to the world and try to put dirt on Superman's name. D1 Hater. The engineer repairs the full file, and we cut back to Superman and the Justice Gang, including Guy Garner, Hawk Girl, Hawk Tua, Hawk Girl, and Mr. Terrific, who really steals the show in this movie. After they take care of this monster, the full message is broadcasted on a talk show to the world. Superman is surprised to hear that his parents actually wanted him to conquer Earth and make mini babies to restore the Kryptonians. Wow. Now, I may be wrong, but from my knowledge, this does not happen in canon Superman lore. Maybe in different series, but from what I know, which is not a lot, this is not the main storyline in the comics. And I love that. If I'm correct, this is the appropriate way to rewrite a character for the sake of a story. I love this angle on Superman's family and his parents' wishes. I have a feeling that Supergirl may change that, and it may like dive into how Superman's parents didn't really want him to conquer the Earth, and Lex took the tape and rewrote it to say something else. But for some reason, I kind of don't want that. I think it's a fun change. The people of Metropolis turn on Superman thinking that he has a secret agenda and he really plans on turning on everyone and ruling them. So he flies quickly to the Fortress of Solitude, which is shot awesomely. He's like beaming up there and like the camera's shaking. Makes it really feel like you're flying fast. It's shot perfectly. Quickly after, he goes right to Lex and he asks him, "Where's the dog?" After all this, apparently he just wanted to make sure that Krypto was safe. When the night rolls around, we see that Superman is really struggling with this message. He thought that his parents were these good people, but really they wanted him to be a bad guy. Lois tells him that she doesn't think that he's a bad guy, but Superman says that he's going to turn himself in. That will probably be the best chance of finding Krypto, as he worries about him being alone and scared. Which brings me to my next point. Superman in this movie tries to save everyone, even squirrels that get caught in the crossfire of battle. Many times we're shown in the middle of fights of Superman trying to minimize damage and save civilians, while in Man of Steel, we got many scenes of Superman beating the piss out of people and running them into buildings. It's shot almost like the main goal for him is not to put the opponent down, but rather get people out of the way and save them before things get bad. After surrendering himself, Luthor puts him in a pocket dimension with the rest of his enemies and trapped him with the character Metamorpho, who can create kryptonite and keep him at bay. Eventually, Metamorpho sees the bad in Lex Luthor and allows Superman to free both them and save his son Joey and Krypto. On the outside, Lois talks to Mr. Terrific to convince him to save Superman, to which he agrees, and we get the most badass fight scene in recent films. The Sentry fight was really good, but man, this one was mwah. I love how he's just playing with these guards and just thrashing them, while the fun Music is just playing. We also see it from Lois's perspective. Lois, who has a dome around her and everything is like all muffled, and it's just peak. We go back into the pocket dimension to save those in there, and Superman is taken to Jonathan and Martha Kent's farm to recover from his kryptonite poisoning that he received. During the scene, we get a view from Lois's perspective, taking us through his room. We see a poster of a band that he thinks is punk rock. We see a small bed. We see Jonathan Kent comforting him, with Martha talking about how he's fragile with Clark because, well, that's his boy. It's perfect. This scene shows us that even though he's an alien from another planet, he still is very much human. I think it's a cute scene and I love it. Take a shot every time I said I love it in this video. In the morning, Clark basks in the sun with Krypto and Jonathan comes out to talk to him. Clark opens up about how he's distraught about the message from his parents, but Jonathan reassures him that it's Clark that decides who he is and what his mission is, not them. They hug and have a beautiful moment. Love it. Until we get word that Lex is aiding Boravia in the invasions so he can claim it as his own. With this, Lex is opening a portal to the pocket dimension open again, creating an unstable environment, splitting Metropolis into two, with the goal of luring Superman back to him. The Justice Gang go to stop the second invasion while Superman's preoccupied, something Lex Luthor did not take into account. And Mr. Terrific fights the Engineer and Ultraman alongside Supes. This fight, once again, is shot so well and has you thinking like, okay, what's gonna happen next? What's gonna happen next? It's great. Great environment too. I love the look of the baseball field in the back. It looks visually pleasing. When the Engineer is finally down for the count, we are revealed that Ultraman is of course a clone of Superman. So a big brawl, evenly matched, is fought until we get help from our good boy Krypto, knocking Ultraman into a black hole. After this dub, we take the confrontation to Lex as Mr. Terrific shuts the portal down, even though the whole city is still f***ed. Luthor and his crew get detained. The remaining folks in the pocket dimension are freed, and we clear up our name while of course showing Lex Luthor who he really is. Finally, we continue in the Fortress of Solitude when Kara Zor-El, aka Supergirl, returns to pick up Krypto. A fun little wink as to what's to come. I also think that Millie Alcott will play her great, and I'm excited to see that. The robots then put on some comfort footage for Superman of his parents, but not biological like before. This time it's the Kents. Beautiful. I love this ending just as much as I love the after credits. After listening to the Punk Rocker Yes I Am song that's been going viral recently from the movie, we get a simple shot of Superman holding Krypto in space looking at Earth. Perfect. Nothing looking forward to what's to come in the DC universe in the next movies, just a simple ending. Beautiful. Going off of the end credits alone, this blows the Joker appearance out of the water in the Batman. But luckily, I'm not even including that in the rankings. I remember whenever me and my brother were literally sitting in the theater watching this, we're just like, just end it. Just end it. Just end it right there. It'll be perfect. And it did. It was awesome. There were a lot of golden moments I left out of this review for the movie, per usual, and I strongly suggest that you guys watch this while it's in theaters. But without further ado, let's get to the rankings. As far as casting goes, I was not expecting Robert to be a good Batman at all. Whenever I read that news header, I was like rolling my eyes and I'm just like, DC is so just, what are we doing? I mean, do you think that I thought that the vampire Twilight boy was gonna make me feel some type of way? Absolutely not. But he did. I mean, how's that? I think that Robert's version of Batman is, I think it works really well. I think it's a awesome rewrite and a relook of the character. I think it just works. And I think it adds a cool little flair. You know, you got the comics Batman, you got the video games Batman. I think it'd be kind of fun to see a new version of Batman. I think that James Gunn will do a great job of doing a new Batman, but I like Robert. I think he's cool. I think it's a cool change. As far as Superman, David Cornsweet is Superman. He talks like him, looks like him, acts like him. He's just him. Without a doubt, he is Superman. While Robert has pushed many people away, so I feel like it's fair to give Superman the dub for casting. Now, both of these plots are really well structured, very well written. I think that they're perfect for the character, for both of them. I do feel like that Batman is a little bit more inspired. I feel like it's more, it's grimy. It fits to him, and so does Superman, but I feel like Batman is harder to get right. That might be a controversial take, but it's what I believe is true. Superman smashed it, and so did Batman in different ways, but I feel like I have to give it to the harder task, which is Batman. A Batman movie with the follow-up of The Dark Knight, I feel like it's such a hard task to feel like you got to do it right. And a lot of people were hating on it before it even came out, and it still blew people. It still did good is what I'm trying to say. And I feel like that, it beat the odds. Not saying Superman's an easy character to write, he's not, but I feel like David did a lot of the heavy lifting. If there was a bad actor, then the movie wouldn't feel right. So James Gunn did his thing, but I feel like Matt Reeves, he had a lot of loopholes to get through, and I feel like he did it. So I'm gonna give it to Batman. I mean, come on. So for this category, it's how do I feel whenever I walk out of the movie theater? Do I feel like Batman? Do I feel like Superman? Do I feel good? Do I feel bad? What do I feel like? And I feel like that is kind of obvious. I mean, come on. Superman, you walk out of there. I mean, have you guys been, the meme where Superman's laying in bed like this, or like laying in the fortress like that? That's how you feel whenever you walk out of there. And you got the music like, because I'm a motherfucker, yes I am. It's a good vibe. Like, I want to go rewatch it. Not saying I don't for the Batman, but it's different. It just is. You sit down, you're watching the Batman, and it's a different feeling. It's a different vibe. But you watch Superman, you're like, man, I feel like helping a little boy. I feel good. God. Superman wins. Justice League. Justice. They both are very comic book accurate. This is the big question, right? They are both so comic book accurate. Like, Batman is so Batman, Superman is so Superman. Batman has some creative liberties that were taken, which in this case I enjoy, I like. But it's like I watch Superman and I'm looking at Superman. Like that is Superman. I'm not looking at him as anybody else. Now Robert, he kind of has, he was in Twilight, so that kind of hurts him. You kind of like, we haven't seen David in a lot of stuff. I mean, I have. He was in X. That's about it, but that I know about and that I watched. But I'm just saying that whenever I look at him, I see Superman. That's Superman. Now, kind of the same for Batman, but it's a different character. You kind of got to learn what their vision is. And not saying that that's a bad thing at all, but I'm just saying that, I mean, whenever I watch Superman, it's just Superman. So I feel like it did its justice more. But stylistically, they both slap. So it's really a draw, but I'm going to give it a Superman just because, like I said, it's Superman. How was the action? How was the fun? Remember that this is a comic book movie, so it's got to be a fun watch. Batman had the car scene. The car scene was awesome. It was sick. You feel badass watching it. And also it had like the wingsuit. I like that it wasn't like the stereotypical like cape glide. It was like an actual like wingsuit. I like that they make it so it's like, yeah, a billionaire would do this. Also with the contacts, I mean, come on, that's badass. There's so many things in the Batman movie that's like, that is so badass. Why can't I be him? Also, obviously in the movie, you're sitting there, you're biting your fingernails, you're like, okay, how can this link to this? You're putting on your detective caps. It's a fun watch. It's a fun watch. Obviously a darker movie, but still like fun. You feel like you're watching a Batman movie. As far as Superman goes, there was specifically that scene of Superman flying back to the Fortress of Solitude and like the camera is like doing that whole thing. The whole movie was shot awesomely. It was shot great. And there's also the thing with Superman not being insanely OP, which could be bad because it's like the Superman. How is he like getting punched by this guy and not like just standing there straight taking it? I feel like they kind of could have had something in there be like, oh yeah, all these villains are infused with a little bit of kryptonite. That's why they're able to like punch him. But if they made him super OP, it wouldn't be fun. It's just like he can just tank everything. So I can understand why they didn't do that. I kind of just wish they explained it a little bit. Just like just one sentence. It's like, oh yeah, they're able to punch him somehow. I don't know. Do something. James Gunn, say something in there. I mean, they don't have to. Clearly they didn't. And I think it's more fun to watch Superman kind of get his ass kicked a little bit. But I'm just saying it would make a little bit more. I'm just saying it was brought to my attention. I'm sitting there and I'm like, how are they able to punch him? But like I said, the camera work is beautiful in this movie. I mean, they hold the shots so like you're like literally watching them like just duke it out and it feels like it's in real time. There's not like 15 million cuts. And same really with the Batman, but Superman is definitely like stylistically shot like a James Gunn movie. I mean, I'm just sitting there, you know, eating my popcorn, looking like I'm just having a good time watching it. Literally in the scene where they're in the pocket dimension, I literally had a moment that I vividly remember thinking like, damn, this movie probably only has like an hour left. It's almost done. And I got sad. Like that's how it should be. That's a fun movie, you know, it's fun. So obviously I'm gonna give it to Superman. Come on, man. If you haven't seen it yet, buy your ticket, go watch the movie. Use code BOWBERRY. I wish. But it was just an awesome movie. I had so much fun watching it. Batman is also, let's not get it twisted. I love Batman. I mean, if Superman's here, Batman's like right there. Like it's not much, there's not much of a gap. But I feel like Superman's a lot more like colorful. I can watch it more than I would watch Batman. And that's my take. Comment down below what you guys think of both of my reviews and what I said about each of the films, and which one do you think is better? I'm open to criticism. I'm gonna hear you guys out. What about casting decisions? What did you think of Robert as Batman? Do you think that a new Batman would be better? Me personally, I would like to see Robert Pattinson back, but I guess I can hear James Gunn out. I'm sure he'll probably cook with the next Batman, but stylistically, I like Robert. Thank you for watching. Also, be sure to subscribe. Of course, duh. If you watch this long and you're not subscribed, what are you doing?